So here we'll first prepare the shoulder on this side. I have my yarn joined on this corner here. Insert the hook, take out the loop, and for the next round, chain 3 plus chain 5 more. This is like round 3. Chain 5 is included in the pattern. Chain 3 stands for the DC. In the center of the shell, work 1 SC as usual, chain 5. Yarn over, we have 3 DCs, just work 1 DC at the top of all the 3 DCs below. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 5 again. Skip 4 DCs in the center of the shell, work 1 SC, chain 5 again. Here we are only working 2 DCs on this side of the neck, so we'll be skipping the third one. So yarn over, work 1 DC in the first DC, yarn over, 1 more DC in the second DC, and we are not working the third DC. So this completes the first row here. So to begin the next round, chain 3, turn the work 1 DC in the next DC. Nextly chain 3, this is like round 1, skip 2 chains in the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 6. After the SC, skip 2 chains in the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 3, yarn over, work 1 DC at the top of each of the 3 DCs below. Chain 3 again, 2 chains in the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 6, skip 2 chains in the third chain, work 1 SC on the other side also, chain 3, yarn over, we have this top third chain, just work 1 DC in this top third chain. For the next round, chain 3, turn the work, then chain 3 more. This is like round 2, and with the second pair of chain 3, work a picot, yarn over, work 8 DCs in this chain 6 below. Chain 3, work a picot, yarn over, work 1 DC in each of the 3 DCs below. Chain 3, work a picot again, yarn over, work 8 DCs in the next chain 6. Chain 3, work a picot. We have 2 DCs ahead, yarn over, just work 1 DC at the top of each of them. 1 and 1 more. 2. For the next round, which is like round 3, we are working 2 DCs on the side of the neck and just 1 DC on the side of the shoulder. Keep that in mind. For the next round, chain 3, turn the work, work 1 DC in the next DC, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip 4 DCs, in the center of the shell work 1 SC here, chain 5 again, yarn over. We have 3 DCs below, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 3 DCs below. Chain 5, skip 4 DCs. In the shell in the center, work 1 SC, chain 5 again, yarn over. Just after this picot in the top third chain here, work 1 DC. This finishes this round here. For the next round, which is like round 1, chain 6. First chain 3 counts as a DC. Second chain 3 is included in the pattern. So chain 3 more. One, 2 and 3. Here in this chain 5, skip 2 chains in the third chain, work 1 SC. Then chain 6. After the SC, skip 2 chains in the third chain, work 1 SC. Chain 3 again. This is how it looks. This is the shoulder side. Chain 3, yarn over, work 1 DC in each of the 3 DCs below. Chain 3, skip 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC. Chain 6. Skip this SC and 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC. Chain 3. We have 2 DCs below, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 2 DCs below. 1 and 1 more in this top third chain, 2. So this round is completed. Next round is like round 2. Chain 3, turn the work, work 1 DC in the next DC. Chain 3. This is like round 2. So chain 3, work a picot. Then yarn over, work 8 DCs in this chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Chain 3, work a picot with this chain 3. Yarn over, we have 3 DCs ahead. In the row below, work 1 DC at the top of each of them. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 3 again, work a picot. Yarn over, work 8 DCs in this chain 6. Chain 3, work a picot. Yarn over, skip 2 chains below, and in this third chain here, work 1 DC. This ends this round here. This is like round 2. This is how it looks. For the next round, chain 8. Chain 3, turn the work, chain 5 more. The first chain 3 stands for 1 DC. The next chain 5 is included in the pattern. Skip 4 DCs, work 1 SC in the center of the shell, then chain 5 again. This is like round 3. Yarn over, work 1 DC in each of the 3 DCs below. Chain 5 again. Skip 4 DCs. In the center of the shell, work 1 SC, chain 5, yarn over. Just after this picot in the top third chain here, work 1 DC. And here is one more DC, just work 2 DC at the end of this round. This is the next side, so we have 2 DCs. So for the next round, chain 3, turn the work, and this round is like round. In the next DC, work 1 DC, chain 3, skip 2 DC, 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC, then chain 6. This is like round 1. Skip the SC and 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC, then chain 3. This is like round 1. Yarn over, work 1 DC in each of the 3 DCs below. Chain 3 again, skip 2 chains below. In the third chain, work 1 SC, then chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After the SC, skip 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 3, skip 2 chains, and in this top third chain here, work 1 DC. So this finishes this round here. For the next round, chain 6, chain 3, turn the work, then make chain 3 more. With this last chain 3, work a picot. This is like round 2. Yarn over, we have chain 6 below, just work 8 DCs into this chain 6. I'm working one shoulder portion with you to help the beginner in crochet friends to be able to create the entire top without any difficulty. And the next shoulder you have to create the same way. So chain 3, after 8 DCs, work a picot, yarn over. We have 3 DCs ahead, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 3 DCs. And to make the second shoulder, just follow the same procedure, tie the thread on the other shoulder end and just begin the same way. So then chain 3, work a picot, yarn over, make 8 DCs in this chain 6 below. Chain 3, work a picot, yarn over. We have 2 DCs on this side, 1 DC, make 1 DC at the top of each of them, 1 and 1 more, and this top third chain 2. So this round is finished here. Chain 3, turn the work. Next round is round 3 again. Work 1 DC. In the next DC, then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip 4 DCs. In the center of the shell, work 1 SC, chain 5 again. Yarn over, we have 3 DCs below, just work 1 DC at of each of them. A total of 3 DCs to be made. Chain 5 again. Skip 4 DCs in the center of the shell, work 1 SC, chain 5, yarn over. In this top third chain, just after this picot, work a DC. This finishes this round here. For the next round, that is like round 1, chain 6, chain 3 and turn the work, make 3 more chains. skip 2 chains. In the third chain work 1 SC, chain 6, after this SC skip 2 chains. In the third chain work 1 SC, chain 3 again. This is how it looks on this side. Chain 3, yarn over, work 1 DC at the top of each of the 3 DCs below. 1, 2 and 3, chain 3 again, skip 2 chains below. In the third chain work 1 SC, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. After the SC skip 2 chains. In the third chain work 1 SC, chain 3 again, yarn over. We have 2 DCs on this side, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 2 DCs below. In this top third chain also work 1 DC here. So the 2 DCs made. So I've reached the enough length and I'll just be working one border atop this last row, and that will be just working SCs all along. Chain 1, turn the work. In this first DC work 1 SC, in the next DC work 1 SC, in this chain 3 work 2 SCs, 1 and 2. In the next SC work 1 SC, in the chain 6 work 6 SCs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. In the next SC work 1 SC. In the next chain 3 work 2 SCs, 1 and 2. Work 1 SC at the top of each of the 3 DCs below. So total of 3 SCs, 1, 2 and 3. Next chain 3 work 2 SCs. Next SC work 1 SC. In this chain 6 work 6 SCs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. In this next SC work 1 SC. Here in the end work 2 plus 1 3 SCs, 1 and 2 plus 1 more 3 in this top third chain. So this ends and borders this shoulder as well, and we have created enough length that is required. The same way work this shoulder portion on the other side as well. Tie the knot in the correct stitch and or in the corner and just proceed the same way we have made it on this side, and have made this border to give strength to the shoulder stitch that will be working after we work the back panel as well. So working the SC's row really strengthens the stitch, and here I have created this shoulder as well on this side. The same way, exact number of stitches, exact number of rows continued. So this is just to remind you that this is the back portion of the panel yoke here, and we put the marker on exact half on one side here. On both the sides we had put, this is one of the sides, and the same way we created the armpit and reduced the stitches, we'll be doing it on this side as well. So skip 2 DCs. In the third DC, tie your yarn, begin with the first row of the round the same way as we did on the front side. And don't forget to work the 4 DCs in the very center of the yoke as we did. The pattern will follow exactly the same way on the back panel of the yoke as well. Between the 3 and 4 squares in the center of the top work 4 DCs. Everywhere else we are working 3 DCs. And in the end here, after this marker that's been put at the exact half on the other side, I have skipped 2 DCs. In the third one I have put the marker to remind me that I have to stop here my pattern and then turn to begin with the second row. So just keep this much in mind. So here my back panel is ready and have not reduced the neck, just went straight to create the pattern, except for the armpit that I reduced the same way as we did for the front panel that I already have shared. This is the front portion, this is the back side. So turn your top on the back side, Put the two panels together like this, stitch onto stitch, and put the markers well in place in the corner, joining the two corners, and then putting the pattern very properly. And on the inside I have put the marker on the back panel after the 2 DCs, as we skip the 3rd DC, remember. So just keep it properly. And now my thread is joined on the outer edge here already. I have taken out the marker. Just sew it very lightly without stretching the stitches, the way I'm showing it here. From one side, take it out onto the other very lightly. Very properly place your stitches. Stitch over stitch pattern should match on both the sides very perfectly. So then from this side, take out onto the chains of on the other side, and do not ever stretch the yarn. The stitches will get stretched and the look will not be good then. Just hold every pattern well in place, one above another, and work very light-handed stitches like this to join the shoulder. I'm showing this shoulder join on one side. Work it the same way on the other shoulder as well. And just remember that I have put the two panels with their wrong sides up. This is the back sides of both the yoke panels that are facing up when we are sewing it together. It is easy to do. You can do it on your own, but for the friends who might need some help, I have made it till end. So please, you can skip if you already can do it on your own. Just in the upper 2 strands of the top stitches, I'm inserting my needle from this side and take it out on the same stitch on the other side. And grab every stitch to have a nice stitch of the shoulder. We are joining it while we have our wrong sides of both the panels put together on the shoulder side like this. And remember, we just have to cover 2 DCs because we didn't work at the 3rd DC towards the neck side. The very corner of the first front panel should be attached at the top of the 2nd DC towards the neck side here like this. Work a few knots then to secure it well. Two or three knots will do. And then I'm securing the thread a little bit on the way back in this shoulder joint only. After securing a little loose tail, I'll just cut the thread. As it's already been secured, our shoulders are, this is the back side, the wrong side, and this is the front side. I have turned it up. Let's have a look on the front side, see how clean it looks. You cannot very easily locate the shoulder. So here to begin the sleeves, I have made 4 such squares the same way and joined them together. And we are going to work the upper portion of the sleeves first. That's going to attach to the shoulders. So have a closer look at the markers that I have put. In the center we have 3 sets of 4 DCs, a total of 12 stitches. I have put these green markers in the first and the 12th stitch, then leaving 4 on both the sides. In the 4th stitch I have put the purple markers. So a total of 20 stitches from this purple marker till this purple marker. We should have a total of 20 stitches, and you can mark all the 4 squares like this to have 20 stitches in between 2 markers. This green marker is just for understanding. So just take out the purple one, the very first marker, and tie the knot here. The green one is just for reference to centralize the pattern in the square. So take out that as well. And I am using markers only in this square, rest I will recognize the stitch on my own. You can put markers in all the 4 squares. So from here we will begin working a first border round across this square. Inside the hook, pull out a loop, chain 3. First chain 3 also counts as a DC. In the next stitch work 1 DC. In the next stitch work 1 DC. Just keep working 1 DC atop every DC below. This is the border round for the upper portion of the sleeve till you reach the next marker on the corner, next corner of this square, and we should have a total of 20 DCs made. Simple round. Markers help was needed just to locate the centralized 20 stitches of a square. You can do it your way, but we need 20 stitches here. So simple round, just keep working 1 DC at the top of each of the DCs below, and by the end of this square we should have 20 DCs across every square ahead for this round. Take out the marker. My last 20th stitch is to be made here, the last DC for this square. Now I can recognize this stitch, so I am not using the marker. I am skipping for the very first stitch and into the second stitch. From this stitch till the end I have 20 DCs. I have already counted. So I am working another set of 20 DCs in the next square. Please do use the markers, take the help with the markers, and centralize your stitches well. Simply we want 20 stitches from this corner till the second corner of a square. So just keep working DCs at the top of each of the DCs and keep a count of 20 across every square below. And the last DC here, 20th one. Then again, so we have worked 2 squares together, working 20 DCs from this corner till here. I have 20. Just work the same way in the next 2 squares as well. This is the beginning of the 3rd square, and the same way you can take help of the markers to mark the 20 stitches from one corner to the other of one square. And just work 2 more squares. I'll see you at the end of this border round. So I've reached the end of this round here and worked my last 20 DCs in the last square as well. To join this round, in the top 3rd chain here, work 1 slip stitch to join the round. And from round 2 we are beginning the pattern. So chain 3 also counts as a DC. In the next DC, work 1 DC. 2, 1 DC in the next DC, 3, 1 DC in the next DC, 4, and one more time 1 DC in the next DC, 5. Total of 5 DCs to be made like this. Now chain 3, this is the row 1. Skip 2 DCs in the third DC at the top of it, work 1 SC, and we have a little change here in the pattern, so be careful. Chain 6 as usual, but here we are going to skip 4 DCs below, and in the 5th DC at the top of it, work 1 SC, unlike we used to skip 2 DCs below before chain 6. So then chain 3 again, skip 2 DCs as usual. In the 3rd DC, work 1 DC and 2, a total of 5 DCs to be made at this end of this square. 3, 4 and 5, one more. So on both the sides of the pattern we are having 5 DCs in the beginning and in the end, and between 2 squares we have 10 DCs in total. So in the next stitch, the very first stitch of the next square, just work 1 DC. We are going to work 5 DCs on this end of this square, 3, 4 and 5, then chain 3, skip 2 DCs below. In the 3rd DC, work 1 SC, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, skip 4 DCs below. This is the change here, and at the top of the 5th DC, work 1 SC, then chain 3, yarn over, work 5 DCs, skipping 2 DCs, skip 2 DCs. From the 3rd DC, count and work 5 more DCs, one at the top of each of the 5 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4 and one more, 5 and 5 more for the other square to begin with, and the same way work 2 more squares. I have come to the end of this round. In this top 3rd chain, work my last 5 DCs. In this top 3rd chain, just work a slip stitch, and this joins this first row of the border of this sleeve as well. And nextly we will be decreasing for the armpit, so slip stitch 3 times to reach the 4th DC. At the top of 4th DC we are aiming, so slip stitch 3 times or maybe 4 times if you wish. We have to reach the 4th DC, so I have reached it here. We are skipping 3 DCs. Now chain 3, yarn over, work 1 DC in the next DC. So between 1st and 4th squares we will be decreasing our stitches for the armpit. 2 DCs made. For the round 2, chain 3, work a picot as usual, then yarn over. In this chain 6, work 8 DCs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and one more, 8. Chain 3, work a picot, yarn over and work 5 DCs in the next 5 DCs. Rather, we have 10 DCs in total between the 2 squares. Work 10 DCs in total. Five DCs of this side. On both the sides of the pattern we are putting 5 DCs in every square, and 5 DCs to begin the round in the next square. 1, 2, 3, 4 and one more, 5, then chain 3, work a picot, yarn over, work 8 DC in the chain 6 below. This is the upper portion of the sleeve, and I would like to mention that we are going to work the sleeves either on the upper portion of the lower portion, both in rounds. We'll be working sleeves in rounds, so we don't need to stitch the sleeves at the end of the sleeve being worked. Work 8 DCs here. Chain 3, work a picot, and I'll be working this upper portion all along with you, so no worries. In this next 5 DCs, work 5 DCs. And in the next 5 DCs, work 5 more DCs, one at the top of each of them. So this square also is worked now. Work 5 DCs in the next 5 DCs. The next square started. Chain 3, work a picot. Yarn over, work 8 DCs in this chain 6. Chain 3, work a picot. Yarn over and work DCs, a total of 10 DCs, 5 for this square and 5 for the next square. Here, so then chain 3, work a picot, and we are going to work our last square here. In this chain 6, work 8 DCs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and one more, 8. Then chain 3, work a picot with this chain 3, yarn over, and because this is our first round of decrease and we had left 3 DCs in the beginning, we'll just be working 2 DCs on this side. So work 1 DC in the next DC and 1 more DC in the next DC. So this finishes our this round. This is the decrease made here for the armpit. We have left 3 DCs. So for the next round of decrease, round 2 of decrease and round 3 of pattern, here we'll be slipping stitch till we reach the center of this shell here. So just slip stitch loosely. So to begin the next round of decrease, turn the work and we are going to slip stitch loosely. So insert into the very first stitch and loosely slip stitch 1, into the next stitch work a slip stitch 2, then around this picot in the next DC work a slip stitch 3, into the next DC work a slip stitch 4, work 1 slip stitch in the next DC, 5, and to reach the center here work 1 more slip stitch, 6. So we have reached the center of the shell here. Chain 1 and work 1 SC here only in the center of the shell like this, and we are beginning our next round of decrease from here. So this is like round 3, so chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, yarn over. We have 10 DCs ahead, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 10 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10. Then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in the center of the shell, skipping 4 DCs, work 1 SC here like this, then chain 5 again, 3, 4 and 5, yarn over, and we have 10 DCs ahead, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 10 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Chain 5, skip 4 DCs, in the center of the shell work 1 SC, chain 5 again, and we have 10 DCs ahead, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 10 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one last, 10. Then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In the center of the shell here, skip 4 DCs, work 1 SC here like this. So this finishes this round as well. This is how it looks at the armpit where we have decreased. We have worked 2 rounds of decrease, 1 and 2. And for the third round of decrease, turn the work, and we will slip stitch again very loosely till we reach this first DC here. So slip stitch in the chains very loosely, 1, in the next chain work a slip stitch, 2, in the next chain, third slip stitch, 1 more slip stitch in the next chain, 4, 1 slip stitch in the next chain, 5. So we have reached the top of this very first DC. To begin the next round, chain 3 and work, we have 10 DCs, just work 9 more DCs because chain 3 also counts as a DC here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last one. A total of 10 DC is made here, including chain 3. Then for the next round, chain 3, that is like round 1. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2 chains here. In the third chain, work 1 SC. Then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. After the SC, skip 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over. This is how it looks. Yarn over, we have 10 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC atop each of the 10 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one 10 here. Chain 3, skip 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. After the SC, skip 2 chains. In the third chain, work 1 SC, chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3. 10 DCs below. Just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 10 DCs. So yarn over and begin working the 10 DCs. 1, 2, 1 DC at the top of each of the DCs below. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one here 10. And the last time we'll be repeating the pattern. So chain 3, skip 2 chains, okay, so we have reached the point where we have to stop. I apologize for the wrong info. Just stop here, as we have already reached the point of the decrease on this side. So this is the third round of decrease, done well. So for the next round, turn the work and slip stitch in the DCs. 1 in the next DC, 1 slip stitch, 2 in the next DC, work 1 slip stitch, 3 in the next DC, work 1 slip stitch, 4. We are going to skip 5 DCs. One more time, slip once and one more time to reach the top of the 6th DC, as we are going to skip 5 DCs from this side, and on that side also we'll leave 5 DCs. So chain 3 also counts as a DC here. Make 4 more DCs ahead. Four and one more, a total of 5 DCs. And for the next round here, that is like round 2, chain 3, work a picot as usual. Yarn over, work 8 DCs in this chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more time 8, then chain 3, work a picot, over we have 10 DCs, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 10 DCs ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, work a picot with this last chain 3 here, yarn over. In this chain 6 below, work 8 DCs as usual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and one more, 8, chain 3 again. So then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, work a picot with this chain 3. Yarn over. We have 10 DCs ahead, but we will only work 5 DCs. So work 1 DC at the top of every DC till you reach a number of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and the last one here 5. Just work 5 DCs at the end of this row and this finishes this row here. This is how it looks at the armpit decrease. We have gone through and we are working the sleeve, the upper portion of the sleeve in rounds. For the next round, turn the work and we are going to slip stitch. So into the very first stitch, in the very first DC, work a slip stitch like this. In the next DC, work a slip stitch 2 times. In the next stitch, work a slip stitch the 3rd time. In the next stitch, work a slip stitch the 4th time. And in the next stitch, just before the picot, we have slipped it one more time. So then chain 5, 3, 4 and 5. The way we are working it on this side, the same way we'll work it on the other side. Then work in SC at skipping 4 DCs at the center of the shell, chain 5 again. And then we have 10 DCs, just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 10 DCs ahead. When we'll reach on the other side, which is very nearby after the 10 DCs, we'll just chain 5, work 1 SC in the center of this shell and chain 5 again. And then after the picot, in the very next stitch after the picot, we'll just slip stitch and that will be the end of the round. And the last one here, work now. So here, after we have made these 10 DCs, we first began with slip stitch 5 times, then worked 1 SC in the center of the shell, then worked 5 chains, then we worked 10 DCs, 1 atop every DC below. Then please work 5 chains, make chain 5s. So make 5 chains and then work 1 SC at the center of the shell, skipping 4 DCs like this. Then chain 5 again. Make chain 5 again after this SC and then just slip stitch just after this picot in the very first DC. So this ends this round here. I hope this helps. The very last section of the video got deleted, but it's a very small section. Hope that helps. Just after the 10 DCs, work chain 5, 1 SC in the center of the shell, chain 5 again, and work 1 slip stitch just after in the very first DC, and this finishes this section.